Baba's Q2 2024 earnings just came out and the stock dropped 10% after it releases earnings. At this point, we know for sure 100% that Alibaba is being manipulated, and you can just avoid the stock price. Don't even look at it at this point. It's irrelevant to what the actual company is doing, and we're going to get into it because you have to realize what's happening in the market. It's all about news, it's all about sentiment, it's all about China, this and that, blah, blah, blah. It's not talking about the business results, the growth. It's none of that. It's all about China, 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 blah, blah, blah. So let's get into what's really happening with the company. And I'm going to let you know, if you own Alibaba like me, like it's my majority holding, you don't have to even care about the stock price because it's just showing you all the wrong things, even though the business is performing really, really good. So let's just get into it and see what's really happening underneath the hood. So first we have to understand what's happening with Alibaba. Alibaba is trading less than its IPO price. Back in 2014 of around $90. It's trading less than that. Even though revenue is at an all-time high of around $127 billion. So how does that make sense, guys? Like any reasonable person will understand that Alibaba is extremely, extremely undervalued at this point. Look how nicely revenue has increased, and now it's kind of not growing as much, but still it's trading lower than its IPO price. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Do you know any company in the market right now? Think about it. Alibaba, Tencent, those are like the two biggest companies in the market, especially when it comes to China, and they still have growth. It's trading at 11 PE. 11! This is literally like insane to even think about Alibaba can be trading at this price. When it really comes down to everything, we know that the market is manipulating Alibaba's price and people just don't want it because of sentiment. Guys, just these results in the Q2 2024 results, look what happened. It grew revenue at 9%. Apple didn't even grow revenue around 9%. It was like 2 or 1%, which is pretty insane. And Apple's trading at like a 30-40 multiple right now. Man, you can just see the stark difference of the businesses. Like every company that is at Alibaba's level is trading at 25-30 multiples. Even companies like PDD is growing like crazy, but it's in China and it's still trading at a high multiple. So I just don't know why people just hate Alibaba. We're going to get into kind of why, but it's just insane what's happening. It's producing $27 billion of free cash flow for the year. Holy, if you really think about that, that is super, super efficient. Guys, and this is growing. This is not just like stagnant cash flow that it's going to produce. Basically, it's telling you in around, 10 years, and actually probably lower. I'm going to say 6 to 10 years, probably lower, definitely lower than 10 years. You're going to be able to, Alibaba is going to produce more free cash flow than the whole market cap of $200 billion. Right now, it's getting a free cash flow yield around 13 to 15%. That's unheard of. Remember, this market is giving us like a 5% yield on the government bonds. An Alibaba business with a strong moat, competitive advantage, growing. You saw the revenue still growing at 9%, free cash flow still growing, earnings still growing, giving you a 15% yield. You would take that right away. If any business person wouldn't take that, they would just be insane. Like they just be insane not taking that deal. So then just what's happening in the market at this point? Because we know it can't be the business because the business is going to grow. And that's how I can really feel comfortable owning Alibaba and just avoiding all the news, because if I just hold the stock to 5 to 10 years, it's going to earn the whole market cap in free cash flow. And it still has a $13 billion buyback plan given to us right now, just giving us a dividend. They still have a lot of the inside of the business still growing rapidly, like the international commerce. Cloud is only growing 2%, which is the only kind of worry, but still they have Xiam now, the logistics service still growing. It's just insane what's happening with the business. If you're looking at the business results, look what's happening inside the business. Is this a dying business to you? We have T-Ball and Taobao growing 4% year over year in the last 3 months. 3 months ended September 30th. We have international business, man, 53%. This is Lazada. This is the business in Turkey. Trendable. Local services group, 16%. Xiao now. Logistics services 25%. We have the cloud 2%, which I truly believe is going to grow faster in the future. And they still have a dominant market share, like 34%. And the Asian market for cloud is getting bigger and bigger every year. So I still have high hopes for this. Digital media 11%. So you can kind of see like the internally, I don't care about the noise, anything else. Internally, the business is still growing just fine. So that's why I can kind of sit back and be happy that you can avoid all the news and all the drama surrounding Alibaba, because the free cash flow of the business is going to make the market cap of the company in 5 to 6 years. So it has to be able to re-rate the company up. It's just a matter of time and patience and the market kind of turning at this point. So if we can see that Alibaba's business is growing and the stock price is still at the all-time low, $78, lower than the IPO price, what's happening? And this is where the sentiment comes in. You have the sentiment of Jack Ma selling his shares, and now he's like reversing his decision. This is causing people to like hiccup and not know what's going on. Then we have internally, the cloud business was supposed to IPO, and now it's not IPOing anymore. So now people are just worried about what's happening. And this is all because Alibaba is not getting its fair share. They were trying to extract value in any way possible. A lot of people forgot about SoftBank and what it was doing with Alibaba shares. It's already sold 30% of the company in the last 3 years, $100 billion of value. So look at that selling pressure on Alibaba constantly. So we can kind of understand what's going on in the market. Why is Alibaba's stock keep being hindered by all this noise and all this selling pressure? Because look what's happening in the market. Big players are just getting out of the company. Then we just have the overall sentiment of hedge funds selling the Chinese exposure because China is all bad, and just all of this bad sentiment around China, which is just causing this specific company to crash. So guys, just relax, just enjoy the ride. Alibaba will recover eventually, unless there's a black swan event that just wipes out China, wipes out Alibaba. If it's not that, we don't have to worry. Alibaba is doing just fine. So guys, what do you think about this video? Like it and subscribe. Peace.